Money doesn't change people, it reveals them. It amplifies what was already there, strips away the masks we wear for survival, and exposes the truth of who we are beneath the surface. But here's what most people don't understand. Wealth isn't primarily about numbers in a bank account. It's about psychology. It's about mindset, habits, beliefs, and the invisible architecture of thought that separates those who build lasting prosperity from those who chase it forever but never quite catch it. The psychology of wealth is the difference between having money and being wealthy, and that difference is everything. Let's start with the most fundamental psychological divide: scarcity mindset versus abundance mindset. These aren't just buzzwords, they're fundamentally different operating systems for how you perceive and interact with the world. A scarcity mindset operates from fear. It believes there's never enough. Not enough money, not enough opportunity, not enough time, not enough success to go around. This mindset sees the world as a zero-sum game, where someone else's gain is your loss. It hoards, protects, and plays defense with resources. An abundance mindset operates from possibility. It believes that value can be created, that opportunities are infinite, that collaboration beats competition, and that there's enough for everyone who's willing to create it. This mindset invests, shares, and plays offense with resources. Here's what's crucial. These mindsets are self-fulfilling prophecies. Scarcity thinking makes you risk-averse, prevents you from investing in yourself or others, and keeps you stuck in patterns of preservation rather than growth. Abundance thinking opens you to opportunity, attracts collaboration, and positions you to capitalize on possibilities others can't even see. Wealthy people understand that money is a tool, not a destination. And the first step to wealth is believing that there's enough to go around if you're willing to create value. One of the most important psychological differences between the wealthy and everyone else is their relationship with delayed gratification. In the famous Stanford marshmallow experiment, children who could resist eating one marshmallow to get two later had better life outcomes across virtually every measure, including financial success. Wealthy people have mastered this principle at a profound level. They're willing to sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term gain. They invest instead of spend. They save instead of consume. They build equity instead of renting dopamine hits through instant gratification. But here's what's often misunderstood. This isn't about deprivation, it's about intentionality. Wealthy people spend money, sometimes extravagantly, but they do it consciously, strategically, and only after they've taken care of investments that will generate more wealth. The person who buys a luxury car with their first big paycheck is chasing the feeling of wealth. The person who invests that money and buys the car 5 years later with the returns is practicing wealth. One is consumption masquerading as success. The other is actual wealth building. The psychology of delayed gratification is about understanding that every dollar has multiple potential futures, and the future where it multiplies is almost always more valuable than the future where it buys something that depreciates. Here's a psychological truth that sounds harsh, but is liberating once you accept it. Wealthy people take radical ownership of their financial outcomes. They don't blame the economy, their parents, their education, their boss, or the system. Even when those factors are real and significant, they choose to focus on what they can control rather than what they can't. This isn't about denying systemic inequality or pretending everyone starts from the same place. It's about recognizing that blame, however justified, is psychologically disempowering. When you're focused on who's responsible for your circumstances, you surrender your agency to change them. Wealthy people ask different questions. Not whose fault is this, but what can I do about this? Not why is this happening to me, but how can I use this? Not what's stopping me, but what's my next move? This shift in internal locus of control, the psychological term for believing you have agency over your life, is one of the most powerful predictors of financial success. It transforms you from a victim of circumstance into an architect of outcomes. And here's the beautiful paradox. The moment you stop blaming external factors, you often gain more clarity about how to navigate them strategically. Most people think wealthy people are primarily motivated by money. They're not. Money is a scorecard, but it's rarely the game itself. Wealthy people are motivated by autonomy, impact, mastery, creation, and legacy. Money is the byproduct of pursuing these deeper drives with excellence.
Psychologically, this matters because money as an end goal is surprisingly demotivating. Research shows that extrinsic motivation, doing something for external rewards like money, is less sustainable than intrinsic motivation, doing something because it's meaningful, challenging, or aligned with your values. Wealthy people love what they do or find meaning in it beyond the paycheck. They're obsessed with solving problems, building systems, creating value, or mastering their craft. The wealth comes because they're willing to do excellent work at scale, not because they're chasing dollars. This is why lottery winners and athletes who earn millions often end up broke. They got the money without the psychology that creates and sustains wealth. They never developed the intrinsic motivation, the value creation mindset, or the identity of someone who builds rather than receives wealth. The lesson here is clear. If you want to build wealth, stop chasing money and start chasing mastery, value creation, and meaningful problems. The money will follow, and more importantly, you'll have the psychological infrastructure to keep it. One of the most counterintuitive aspects of wealth psychology is the relationship with risk. Most people think wealthy people are big risk takers. They're not. They're calculated risk managers. Wealthy people don't gamble. They don't bet the farm on hunches. They assess risk carefully, gather information, calculate probabilities, and only take risks where the potential upside significantly outweighs the downside, and where they've mitigated controllable variables. But, and this is crucial, they're also not paralyzed by risk. They understand that avoiding all risk is the biggest risk of all. They know that staying in a safe job you hate, not investing because you might lose money, or refusing to start a business because it might fail are forms of risk that guarantee mediocrity. The psychological shift here is from risk avoidance to risk optimization. It's asking not, how can I avoid risk, but what's the smartest risk I can take with the information I have? It's understanding that risk and reward are inseparable, and the goal is to take risks where you have an edge, superior information, unique skills, strategic positioning, or asymmetric upside. This is why wealthy people invest in education, networks, and expertise. These things don't eliminate risk, but they tilt probability in your favor. They turn uncertain bets into informed decisions. Here's something that separates wealthy people from everyone else. They view money as multiplication, not addition. They're not trying to earn more money linearly by trading more hours for more dollars. They're trying to create systems where their money and efforts multiply. This shows up in several ways. They invest in assets that appreciate or generate passive income. They build businesses that can operate without them. They create intellectual property that pays them repeatedly. They leverage other people's time, money, and expertise to amplify their impact. Psychologically, this requires a fundamental shift from worker mentality to investor mentality. A worker asks, how can I earn more? An investor asks, how can I make my money work for me? A worker measures success in annual salary. An investor measures success in net worth and cash flow. This isn't about not working. Many wealthy people work incredibly hard, but they work on building assets, systems, and equity, not just earning paychecks. They understand that true wealth is created through ownership and multiplication, not just compensation. The shift from linear to exponential thinking is one of the most important psychological upgrades you can make on the path to wealth. Perhaps the most overlooked aspect of wealth psychology is the relationship with identity. You'll never sustainably achieve wealth that contradicts your self-concept. If deep down you believe rich people are greedy, that money corrupts, that you don't deserve wealth, or that financial success means betraying your values, you'll subconsciously sabotage every opportunity to build it. Wealthy people have integrated prosperity into their identity. They see themselves as value creators, problem solvers, and stewards of resources. They don't have guilt about money because they understand it as a tool for impact, security, and freedom. This requires examining your money story, the beliefs about wealth you inherited from family, culture, and experience. Most people are running unconscious scripts about money that were written by other people, often in scarcity and fear. Rewriting your money story means asking hard questions. What do I actually believe about wealthy people? What did my parents teach me about money? Do I believe I deserve financial success? Am I willing to do what wealth requires? Do I see money as evil or as neutral? Until you resolve the psychological conflict between wanting wealth and believing it's wrong, you'll remain stuck in financial mediocrity no matter how much you earn. Money is emotional. We pretend it's not. We pretend it's just math, just logic, just numbers on a page. But every financial decision is filtered through emotion: fear, greed, shame, pride, anxiety, hope. Wealthy people don't eliminate emotional responses to money, but they've learned to recognize them and not let them drive decisions. They feel fear when markets crash, but don't panic sell. They feel excitement about opportunities, but still do due diligence. They feel the urge to keep up with peers, but resist lifestyle inflation. This emotional regulation is a learnable skill. It requires self-awareness, patience, and often external systems, financial advisors, accountability partners, automatic investments that remove emotion from the equation. The psychological of wealth ultimately comes down to this: money is a mirror. It reflects your discipline, your values, your patience, your beliefs about yourself and the world. You can't hack your way to wealth without addressing the psychological foundations that create and sustain it. Building wealth requires shifting from scarcity to abundance, from instant gratification to delayed rewards, from blame to ownership, from chasing money to creating value, from avoiding risk to managing it, from linear thinking to exponential leverage, from conflicted identity to aligned self-concept, and from emotional reactivity to conscious choice. These aren't just mindset shifts, they're psychological transformations that change who you are at the deepest level. And that's the secret. Wealth isn't something you get, it's something you become.